Yo, what's up, YouTube? Back in another video, and today we are reacting to every NBA archetype explained in 8 minutes. How many archetypes do we think it is? I'm thinking no more than like 12. Maybe like realistically 8.
GOAT. The garbage time GOAT usually makes
Oh my
other
goodness.
deep bench players look like
Garbage time
youth league
GOAT.
players.
I'm
This
weak.
is usually a fan favorite, the man that comes in the game when your team is either up or down 30 points
Bronny?
and just
I'm just
absolutely
playing, bro.
dominates. Their advanced stats are totally off the charts, and you'll find a cult-like group of fans who are convinced this guy can be an absolute
Aaron
stud.
Baines probably?
However, some part of their game
It's not
just
Boban.
doesn't translate well against mid to high NBA level competition. But
No,
when
Andre
we're
Drummond's
talking
good,
about
though.
the bottom 10% of the league, they are on another level. These players could be superstars if they played
He's a
in different
garbage
leagues around
time.
the world, but the
Go.
NBA game is just not an ideal fit for their skill. Microwave scorer. These guys are absolutely electric. While they might disappear for long stretches or even entire games, if they see a few shots go through the basket, they turn into prime Kobe Bryant. There's no
Tyler
worse
Hero,
guy to
Jordan
face off
Clarkson,
against
yeah.
than the microwave scorer, especially
Yeah.
at the
I've
end
never
of
heard these
games.
terms
These are
before.
the type of guys who can hit insane buzzer beaters. Every shot they take is make or miss.
He's not lying.
regardless
I don't know
of
if
the
Jordan
defense.
Poole
The
or
wild
Jordan
card.
Clarkson would be.
Arguably the most exciting players, these are viral clip machines. They seem to think they're playing street ball, and while
Nah,
it's
he need- that's
usually
LaMelo. He
exciting,
need-
they
what
tend
the
to hurt a
fuck?
team more than they can help. Sometimes the wild card can work as a
Jordan
role
Poole
player
don't
on
be-
a
he be
team
doing
with
good.
strong veterans, but even then, they can drive their teammates crazy. The biggest difference between the wild card and the microwave scorer is effort. The microwave scorer always brings their best effort, even when the shots aren't falling. The same can't be said for the wild card. They seem to only care about making the flashy play, and if their shot isn't falling, it's going to be a long game. Defense is usually an afterthought for this archetype, the fan.
Yeah.
Imagine getting paid millions of dollars per year
Oh, the
just to
fan.
clap and root for a basketball
The-
team.
the
That, my
nastiest.
friends, is the definition of the fan. This is someone who might not even get in the game if it's a 30-point blowout. They're basically
Yeah.
getting
He's
paid
not even
$1
on the NBA
million
team no more.
per year to sit on
I
the
think that's why
bench and
Giannis is
cheer
trying to
for their
leave.
team. The fan rarely, if ever, ends up moving up the NBA ladder. Their career is usually pretty short, and they end up disappearing after their rookie contract. But hey, they made the NBA, so that's pretty cool.
That
the
is.
Project. Remember when
Project? Who is
Bruno
he?
Caboclo was drafted? Bill Simmons
No.
famously said he was 2 years away from being 2 years away from being ready to play.
Nigga,
That's
what?
the project in a nutshell. Once in a
What?
blue moon, these guys will pan out. Just take
What?
a look at Giannis. However, more often than not, we hear about how
2
good
years
they
away
could
from being
be
2
on
years
draft
ready?
night and then never hear about them again.
So he's 4
They'll
years
show
away from
some
being ready.
flashes. Sometimes it'll be enough for other teams to take chances on them, but oftentimes they never reach their potential and end up falling out of the league before their prime years. The
Awesome.
bust.
Oh my goodness, what's bro name? What's bro name? He got drafted. He played in the NBL with with LaMelo. It wasn't like Tyler Black or something. His name, he had a big forehead, light skin with like maybe a buzz cut, or maybe he had dreads. I think he got drafted to the Bucks. If y'all know who I'm talking about, him. Like niggas was saying, he decent. But bro, you put some time in between them, bro, gonna be
The
rough.
bust is a player
And he
drafted
just
in the
didn't
top 3 picks
pan out.
who ends up falling out of the league before they even hit their prime. They usually have a ton of pipe, but as soon as their rookie season begins, cracks start to appear. Sometimes teams will hold on to a bust longer than they should, hoping that he'll turn things around.
Scoot Henderson,
This rarely
he's not
happens, but
necessarily
the
a
teams don't really
bust.
have a choice since they invested so much into the player. The biggest difference between the bust and the project is that the bust doesn't really have any redeeming qualities, while the project will occasionally show flashes that keep a team believing in their potential. Role player. The role
PJ.
player is the type of guy who always puts the team first. They don't care about stats, accolades, or any of that. They just want to win. You normally hear about these guys around the trade deadline.
Jimmy Butler's technically a
as
role
they're the
player,
most
but-
commonly traded players. The thing
Yeah.
about role players is that they usually don't last long playing on bad teams. Since they care so much about winning, they don't mind taking a pay cut to join a contender. Bad team stud. This is one of the most
Yes,
misleading
Jeremy Grant.
archetypes in the league.
Yeah, bro was.
The bad team stud is so good,
He's
they
like
usually
that.
earn some insane contract. Sometimes a budding contender will even splurge on them, only to be massively disappointed when they realize they overpaid for a high-end role player. These guys usually end up going where the money takes them, which is why they end up on trash teams. Honestly, it's hard to blame them. You get to be the star of your team and make a boatload of money. Winning would obviously be cool, but everyone has different priorities. Defensive specialist. Imagine a defender that makes NBA superstars squirm when thinking about him. The defensive specialist is one of my favorites. They usually have some insane defensive instincts on top of a unique body type. Sometimes these guys are so horrible at offense that they barely see the court, but other times they end up developing enough offense to become a strong role player, or even better. The key for these guys is just to develop a three-point shot. Without that, they'll struggle to see the court. Still though, it's a fun guy to have on your bench. There are plenty of unique situations where they can be useful.
Tyrese, not Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese, what's
This one's pretty self-explanatory.
Was that Luka?
3-point
No,
specialist.
Kyle Korver.
This
Like
one's
JJ
pretty
Redick
self-explanatory.
or
The
JJ
three-point
Redick.
specialist is pretty much the complete opposite of the defensive specialist. They can make it rain all day long, but if their defense isn't good enough, they'll struggle to see the court. On the other hand, if their defensive abilities pass a certain threshold, they'll graduate to becoming a strong role
A 3 and
player.
D.
Still, in today's offensive-heavy game, if
Kyle
you're
Korver
good
didn't have
enough
enough
at shooting
D.
threes, you'll probably find your way onto the court at least a little bit. Glue guy. Most championship teams have a guy like this. Sometimes they're the final piece that really takes a team to the next level. They're willing to do the dirty work, but they're also more capable than most think.
Yes.
If they need to score, they'll score. If they need to pass, they'll pass. They can always defend, and they're usually not afraid to get into a scrum.
Sabonis in
The
that
glue
playoff
guy
run.
is pretty much like an elite role player, injury-prone superstar. Your team is sort of pretty much like
Hold
an
up.
elite role
Let's
player.
get this one.
Injury-prone.
Injury prone superstar. Oh, wait, who's the dude on the bottom? I know that's Jeremy Grant, T Mac, and Kawhi. I can't tell you who that guy on the stretcher
Your
is
team
supposed
is
to
sort
be.
of a contender every year. It just depends on whether or not this guy is in street clothes or not. This has to be the most frustrating guy. They're so much fun to watch, and they can arguably be the best player in the league if, and that's a big if, healthy. Every era seems to have a guy like this, and while some show us what their peak can actually look like, others keep us dreaming. If these guys put together a healthy season,
Was that
they can win
Zion? Oh, because
championships
he had a
and
beard. That's why I
MVPs.
couldn't tell.
They're so hard to rank though because they're barely ever healthy. Aging superstar. Father Time is undefeated,
yeah.
and the aging superstar is proof of that. Depending on the player,
Russ
these
is still
guys can be
cold.
sad
Chris
to
Paul's
see
still
as they fall
decent.
off, but others are able to adapt their game and prove
Chris Paul is
extremely
still
useful
decent.
until they're
That's a
retired.
new photo,
While it
though,
must be
'cause
tough
his
to see a
line
guy
are
who once
old.
dominated the league be
Line don't look too
relegated to a
bad.
role player. They have the potential to bring a strong veteran presence to any team.
Russ is going
Some
stupid.
search for championships and will only join contenders, while others join rebuilding teams and help them form a winning culture.
Yeah,
All-star.
Chris Paul is nice
The
like that. He's a
All-Stars
good
don't
guy,
have
bro.
what it takes to win a championship as the best player, but they can be paired with other All-Stars to put together a highly competitive team. While you still need a player in one of the top tiers to win it all, these guys can make a team fun to watch. We're usually waiting to see if the All-Stars can graduate to the next level, and
To a
some
superstar?
do. Even the ones that don't are able to carve out long, exciting careers in the league. Superstar. If you surround a superstar with another all-star and strong role players, you're a legitimate contender. Even though the superstar might not be the best player on the court at all times,
But they legit
with
had
a
like
strong
4
supporting
all-stars
cast,
on their
they
team.
can do what it
Like
takes
Porzingis
to
is
win
an
it all.
all-star caliber
These
player.
aren't guys that will take any team
Drew
in the league
is-
to the playoffs. They
and
need
Jason
some
Tatum
help.
and Brown
But that
are
doesn't
quite literally
mean they
all-stars.
aren't elite. They're your
Yeah.
perennial all-NBA team guys, and they can be in the MVP conversation, although they usually don't end up winning. Generational. This is the guy that you can put on any team in the league, and they'll make the playoffs.
But here's the thing. I don't think Giannis could be. I mean, I guess you got people connect other roles, but I don't think Giannis would be a good fit since we already had him as a project because he was the project. So I don't think he should be the person.
Taking home
But
the
I
MVP
understand
trophy
he
year
is.
after year, and with a decent supporting cast, they're always a threat to win it all.
Yeah,
They're
it's
usually
just
only a
niggas
few
being
guys
hurt the
like
last
this in
2-3
the league
years.
at a time. While the most common form of generational player is a top 5 draft pick who comes into the league with a ton of
LeBron.
hype, we've seen guys
KD.
in recent years who became generational after getting drafted. later.
Decline every GM archetype explained. Okay, y'all let me know if I should watch more of these. That was actually kind of decent. I will say those terms though, a lot of them, the first couple ones, I've definitely like I ain't heard these before, but the more the video went on, I'm like, okay, I'm understanding. But how many archetypes was that? That might have been like, it might have been 12. I don't know. Y'all gotta let me know in the comments below. We're on the road to. We're on the road to 8. Wait. Are we on the road to 90? We're on the road to 90 subscribers, bro. 90 subscribers, 200 followers on no, Twitch, and 1100 on TikTok. I see y'all in the next video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Stay warm, stay hydrated. I see y'all in the next video. I love y'all.